Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are watching us. Welcome along to the Geordie Show on NUFC TV, Talk TV. And it's myself and I tonight with me and the Mighty Win, the regular two. I'm sure there's going to be some guys jumping on board as we go through the show. They're just getting themselves sorted out in the background there. So we'll see them in a moment. But before we start, let's just get the housework done and then we'll get cracking. Welcome to everybody that's watching across all of the platforms. Again, thanks to all the mods working in the background. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoy the show. Just helps us get further as a channel and get to other NUFC supporters. We have had some amazing support, so I'd like to thank you all very, very much. By smashing them likes, like I say, we are starting to reach far and wide now. So keep that going for us. If we can keep that going, then that'll be brilliant for all entailed. Subscribe; it's totally free. Hit the bell for any future content. We do stuff 7 days a week, including our sister channel, which is Football Uncensored, which includes other Premier League club topics. So watch out for that one. If you do want, if you like the channel and you want us to grow, the way to support us more is by becoming a member. That's a small monthly fee, and that will give you a chance to win prizes, and you get behind the scenes members only content. Don't forget to check our webpage as well, nufctalk.tv, for news and content. Obviously, as we get it, if it's from a good source, we'll put it up, or if we've had some good questions raised, then what we'll do, we'll go back, have a look at it, and let's say if it's interesting enough, we may put some of that information out on our webpage. If you've got a question for either us, me or Win, put a Q in front of it just so it's highlighted in the chat. But again, apologies if we don't mention everything that's been involved in the chat, because obviously you guys like to talk amongst yourselves. But obviously, if you want to guarantee it, hit the $ and follow the instructions. Any gifts obviously will be highlighted, any new members will be highlighted, and any gifted memberships will be highlighted and thanked as we go. Well, that's if we see it, because obviously, yeah, in the past we've been a bit slow on doing that, but we will definitely do our best to get that sorted.
Keeping me eyes peeled.
Absolutely. So, Win, you've had a lovely day up in the northeast. Has it been nice and warm up there?
It's been fabulous, absolutely
Yeah, yeah.
fabulous.
I've been in the kiddies pool all afternoon, so it's been really nice. Hence, I'm only in me t-shirt,
yeah,
me
be a
vest.
vacancy in vests, Gary.
Yeah, vests. It's bloody boiling here, and I must admit it's been one of them days, and it's even warmer tomorrow. So paddling pool at the ready, I think.
And
Again, thanks to everybody in
Lat's
the chat.
saying Wins had his heat sharpened. He has indeed.
He has, yeah, absolutely. So let's do a couple of highs to everybody that's there at the moment. The American Mag, the proper man is in the background. Warren, good evening. Beer, Michael, Kenny, Mighty Mag, Sergeant Charles, and
And
Lat.
Lat, I haven't seen Lat
Uh,
before.
no,
L-A-T-T.
no. Yeah, where are you from, lads? Are you a northeastern lad or abroad? Georgie Eaton, I think that's everybody in there at the minute until we go any further. So it's been a bit quiet on the northeastern front, to be fair. And me and Will are obviously constantly scratching our heads for new content and what we can do for you. So we'd come up with a cracking idea. So what we're going to do tonight, because I was going to talk about, oh crikey, that's a quick question, Michael. Let's do a question from Michael first. What do you think about the Gahey situation? Well, this has been a constant thing in the chat today, hasn't it?
Yeah,
We both were
it's
talking
been
about it
rife.
just in the green room. Yeah. There's been lots of toing and froing amongst ourselves about what we should do and what we shouldn't do. I think they're doing exactly what they need to do by going in and not putting the money down on the table that they're asking for. They're trying to. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a part of me that thinks going in at 40 million was probably a little bit on the stingy side. I think that was probably just, by biting your nose off just to spite your face type of situation. But obviously, what they wanted to do is to make sure that there's some chance of getting this player, and there's no point going in there all guns blazing. So obviously, that was just a cheeky bid to see where we are. So the second bid went in at something like 50 plus 5 million add-ons, as we are to believe. And again, there's no movement from Crystal Palace. Now, what is the ceiling on Guéhi? He didn't have a great day today. If I'm honest, didn't get a tackle in, didn't get a header in on one-to-ones. But is that Guéhi just obviously not taking the game that serious? He didn't want to overcommit himself, because if there was any Newcastle scouts there today, haven't done him any favours in his overall performance. So again, you've got to think of the player's situation and where he could potentially end up with a massive wage rise if he gets injured in this game. I mean, obviously, I think he only played 45 minutes, if I'm correct. I didn't see all of the game. I only saw a little bit of the game, but he didn't set the world alight. But again, I believe that's because obviously he's still pondering this move to us. Will it come forward? I'm 70-30. I'm 70-30 that the final bid will be somewhere in the region of 58. I think we'll go up to, plus maybe another 5 on performance. But I'm a little bit unsure of how far towards the 60 million we'll go, because as of yet, I still believe they're trying to keep the coffers in the purse for a right winger as well. So I think 55 to 58 would be my cutoff, and see if there's any movement or any way of reaching a deal on that. But that's my opinion. What's yours, Win?
Well, I think if they were going to go to 58 plus, they would have, you're talking 2 million. They would have just went to 60. And the fact that they haven't, hello, Mason.
Hello.
The fact that they haven't, to me, says that they're not going to go to 60.
Mm.
And I don't think they're going to go past, I think maybe 55 will be their tops.
Okay.
And it's all very well everyone saying, just pay it, man, 5 million, what's 5 million? But as soon as you start going down that road, it means every player you go for from here on in, you end up paying top dollar for. And PIF, I'm sure, are far too shrewd negotiators for to go down that line. This is where Man United have been for years, where Chelsea have been for years.
Yeah.
And look what they end up with, and look what they end up paying for them. So I'm very happy. I mean, apart from anything else, like I've said before, I think it's a gamble to pay that sort of money for Guy to play right centre back. We know he's brilliant on the left, but we've got we're so overstocked on the left at the minute. We need somebody who's absolutely a right centre back.
Mm.
What do you reckon, Mason?
Mate, yeah, come on, mate. There's a question here from Michael. What do you think of the Guéhi situation?
At first, when I seen that video on Friday night when I was at the on the Gallagher at the stadium, when I seen the video and I showed luckily enough I'd met Paul, and I showed him the video, and obviously when I seen
his shoulders.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when I seen that on Friday night, I thought, I think he'd be possibly coming, but obviously I seen the day that he played against Nantes, and he made the mistake for one of their goals. So
one of their goals, yeah.
If something happens this week before the Southampton game, I'll be pretty much buzzing. Because it's that type of centre back we need, along with Botman and Byrne. And
so you're quite happy that he can play a right centre back, are you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've watched him before do that. Played right centre back, and he fits it. I know it was the championship, but he fits in it perfectly. But he's got.
Just because I've looked at his heat maps for the last 3 seasons. You know, where
And it's
he's
all
made
been
his
all left.
reputation, and it's all up the left. Very rarely, he almost never goes into the right hand side of the pitch.
Yeah, yeah.
And
He's
we
very
know he's
much
a right
train tracks
footer.
on them.
I accept he's a right footer, but I just think it's a hell of a gamble if you're going to take him where he's from the position that he's made his reputation to try and change it. But
But the fact is, Steve Cooper used to play him with that as well in the championship.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And I know it's the championship, but Steve Cooper got the best out of him before Steve Cooper had left, and obviously Gay went to Palace.
Yeah. I mean, is the money that before I go on, I've got a message for you, Mason, from Beer. Hey, I'll see if you can answer that one. Has Mason been to the Stack yet? And do they sell Schiller? Is that Shillergit? What's that?
No idea.
That's
what it says, but I don't know what it means.
Luckily enough, I went on Thursday night, but I didn't see any other stores selling what Mr. Viking was saying about the word on the end board. Yes, I did go on Thursday night.
I have no idea what that is.
So, do you know what he's talking about with that Shillergit thing?
Nah.
No.
Interesting. Let's have a look. There's a couple of questions coming, guys, before we move anywhere else. Stack is great. Don't know about the Shillergit. I'm frightened to say it, to be fair. They've only bought gyro from the Greek. So obviously it's some type of food. Right then, let's have a look at what I've starred so far, because there's been a couple of questions. Stephen Thomas. He could be my brother from another mother. If Newcastle get Gahey, do you think he will get a place over Botman when he's back? Well, I don't think they've bought him for the left-sided centre-back. I know Wynn obviously has alluded, well, more than once, that the heat map proves he is only a left centre-back and not a right centre-back. I think he's a guy who obviously is going to be bought in to cover our right-sided centre-back, because we are still very weak there. But will he get over Botman? I think now you've got Byrne and Kelly in that situation. Botman's got a chance now to take his time on his rehab to come back when he's absolutely 100%. Haven't got to race him back. So when he's back from any time the end of October, he can gradually make his way back to full fitness and sharpness, and then hopefully, he can command his position back. But I think now we've brought Kelly in, that looks really comfortable on that position. My question would be, who do we start? Because both Byrne and Kelly have strengths and weaknesses. So it'll be interesting to see who we play on against Southampton. What do you guys think?
I think Kelly will start.
What
I don't think you're paying somebody 150 grand a week wages for to sit on the bench.
Yeah, but don't forget, Burns
I'm
has
not
been
saying
captain.
that's right or wrong, but I think that's what'll happen.
But who do you put as captain then? If Tino plays on the right back?
Well, does he?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Because that's the
$600 million question, isn't
it? Yeah. They are the two main questions, aren't they? Do you play Byrne or Kelly? And do you play Trips or Livy?
What do you think, Mace?
I think I will possibly start Tino Livramento just for the fact of playing Southampton. As I said in a previous show, you'll know possibly 95% of the players.
Yeah.
I know Southampton have changed obviously changed players when they got relegated, but some of the players who were there in the Premier League are still there. I think possibly for an all club experience wise, I would possibly start Livramento. Centre backs, it's an interesting one. It all depends what happens with Marquis this week. If we don't sign him by the deadline on Friday afternoon, then I will take Kelly and Burn to start. If we don't sign him, but he makes it before the deadline on Friday, then I would possibly give.
I actually think even if we're signing him before the deadline, it's not Eddie's way for to shove him straight in without having had a good bedding in with the rest of the squad.
Absolutely.
Possibly be on the bench for to come on for to get a wave, but unless he signs like tomorrow, which is going to give him 4 or 5 days, I don't think he'll start, even if we're saying him.
See what, but as of now, see what happens this week with Guy. But as it stands now, I would possibly take Kelly and Burn. As of now, depends what happens with Guy this week and before the deadline.
You would start Kelly and Burn?
As of now, if anything happens with
over Shaw, right centre back.
What about Shea?
Oh, I forgot freaking Shaw. In a game with Shaw, it's see how his ankle is after yesterday.
I haven't heard any reports today, to be fair.
Apparently, I heard it. It's some discomfort, but see what happens this week if he gets any if he has like a little setback of it. But I would go with Shaw and Burn. And if anything gets like worse with his ankle, I feel like he'll probably miss the game.
Yeah.
It's a shit, and as I've just said, as it is, it's just they've just came up from the championship, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens at the centre backs because you've got Guy coming in, Shaw with his ankle, but we're going to see what happens. But
what did you think of the 2 games over the weekend?
Yesterday, I thought it was a bit flat. But Friday, the first half an hour, as I said it, David Knight, who normally comes in the chat, I said to him after the game on Friday, if we play like what we did in the first half an hour of that game through the season, we'll be in Champions League again. And that's no disrespect to Girona, but they've just signed. Well, they've basically got 2 Man United rejects, 1 Tottenham reject, and a 37-year-old ex-Smoggy striker who's been at Girona ever since he left Middlesbrough, Giovanni. But the fact is, it didn't help Girona on Friday night with Christian Stuani not getting any game time, and they didn't have any strike up top. But the fact is that they had thrown down to Bournemouth yesterday, thrown down to Southampton yesterday morning to play against Bournemouth, and they drew 1-1 and they had some of the main players playing against Bournemouth, and they drew Bournemouth 1-1. It just shows you the level of playing time, game time we've had, and the caliber of players we've got, and it just shows you some of them players for Girona hadn't got any game time recently. I thought Fox is in the chat. He'll like this one. I thought Girona's best player was that Yangel Herrera, who I would like in Newcastle.
Yeah, he seemed okay, didn't he? Doing everything right.
I thought he was their best player on Friday night.
But to be fair, they did only come into the game once we started to make changes and we changed formation. The midfield was wide open then for them to get through. So we gave them a little bit more space to work the ball through. We were outnumbered in midfield. And to, fair play to Eddie, he did see that. Even though he played the youngsters, he put the youngsters on. Once we'd filled that midfield up, they found it difficult again to carve a clear opening. They had some half chances, but didn't really cause us that much problems. Warren has come in with a question: are Chelsea buying up players that could be associated with the competition, i.e., us? Well, now I just think they're on this crazy spend. I've never known anything like it, if I'm honest. And even some of the financial experts are saying, before long, the bubble will burst with these guys because they're going to be in such financial constraints that they're going to be forced to sell players um, that they don't need to sell. But at the minute, it must be such a difficult job to do for Maresca to try and pick a 11 players from, what's he got now, 47?
Something ridiculous. I mean,
He's just
what
crazy.
do they
But like I
call?
say,
You'll remember Gary, or maybe you will. I think you will. What did they call the lass who won the pools? Viv somebody. Spend.
yeah.
In this
Absolutely.
back in the 60s when she won the pools, and
She won the pools.
it
Yeah.
it took her about 3 weeks to spend the lot.
Get rid of it. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was like that guy who won the lottery, wasn't it? He decided that he wanted to, buy a mansion, and then obviously he put a rally cross type vehicle thing in his back garden. He bought some land attached to his house.
Viv
And
Nicholson, Kenny
literally,
W's there. Thank you, Kenny
there you go.
W.
And then all of a sudden it's gone. And like I say, I'm not saying that it looks at the minute like a bottomless money pit for Chelsea,
Yeah.
but it's gonna have to stop somewhere along the line. But and again, that was one of my reasons, and that I thought Poch left, because they have now saying who they're bringing in. But it's all board related boys. This is so, but I'm not sure whether anything would be related to us coming in because we've not been linked to many of the players that they have currently bought. Foxy's put in Gay is a solid Premier League defender, but the hype has gone way over the top based off a good Euros. Perfect time for Palace to sell him and make the most profit possible. So yeah, like I said, but they're in no rush to sell, are they? They've
I don't
said,
think that's totally fair because yes, he did have a good Euros, but he also had a brilliant second half to last season.
yeah.
It wasn't just based on a few games in the Euros. He played really well. When Glasner took over at Palace and they just went on the run, he was kind of key to that. Him and Wharton.
Yeah.
But,
Daniela's in the chat. Welcome, Daniela. What do you? To get on the Gahey situation. What do you with? I think obviously, what do you think with the situation with Gahey? If you find out what they want and that like a big club you claim to be and pay it. So, yeah. Well, again, what you got to understand and we've had this conversation in the chat going on all day. If you bow your head to anybody, then everybody will do the same. So we've never done that, and I don't think we'll do it going forward. You don't have to be what you class as a big club to go out there and just throw money at anybody because that's not the way you run businesses, especially if you run businesses correctly. But I mean, we were talking about this in the green room, weren't we, Win? Not to go out there and just throw money around because I just don't think that's the business model to go
that's
by.
that's the American Mark saying. He said, just go and pay it.
Yeah.
I disagree with that.
Well, like I say, it's not as if we haven't got the money.
Once you
that,
head down
but we
that
have got
road,
criteria.
there's no turning back.
Absolutely. Are you in agreement, Mason? Do you think we should just hold back? And do you think he's worth the 65 million plus 5 that they're asking for?
Yeah, I think it's going back to the with Gordon and Everton. I think Palace with us. I know they probably want the money to go out and get how many centre backs they need to replace Gay. I know the link with a centre back from Wolfsburg who's got poor, whose disciplinary isn't good as Gay's, for what I've read. So I think that's Palace playing hardball. As I said to on, I think it was Friday. I think it was Friday or Thursday. Friday with the second red contract. I said to somebody, why could not just pay 50 million plus 15 million in add-ons? I don't know if Palace would like that. But the fact is, I think
that makes far more sense to me. You know, if
we reach
payments
the
are performance
certain goals,
related, then
yeah,
you're in a win-win situation.
Of course you are.
But Palace right now are looking to, you know, straight away the iron shot is what they're thinking. But I think, I don't know who else is in for him. You know, that one time everybody was saying Man U were in for him, Liverpool were in for him, Chelsea were in for him. And I don't think they are now. So
No, exactly. But it's like I said, we seem to be the only club talking as we speak, but that doesn't mean that people aren't going to come and pick pockets if we need to. Niall's put here that he was not really part of the Palace team. Then he was injured during a lot of that run. So it's obviously been chat.
no, I think that was he was injured the last 2 games, I think.
Yeah, well, that's what Foxy's put. Nope, Gahey was out injured for the majority of the second half of the season for Palace when they were on a good run. Gahey played very little in that, only final day versus Villa, and returned to the first 11. There you go. So wasn't even involved in any of that team during the good spell. So there's a couple more I'm going to get to. Lat saying, are we going to get a right winger? Well, the glass half full win says yes, we are. I don't know whether this is an ITK, but he thinks we are. So I'm going to go with him because I'd like to be a glass half full. But it's really funny because obviously in the week, guys, what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at our squad. There's been a nice little graph of the whole team, the new signings plus the kids that we've used in pre-season. We're going to try and work out a team from that. Obviously, that's not done and dusted, but the beauty of doing stuff like that is you can actually see where the weaknesses are within the team and where we need to strengthen. So, yes, I do think we're going to get a right winger. And according to what I've seen in the chat, the Gazette and the Chronicle apparently are still saying that we're going in for Ilanga from Forest. So, watch this space because I thought that was, yeah. Is that because Crystal Palace want too much money? So we've got to get stepped down.
You know, we might not get him before Southampton, but I'll be astounded if we don't buy a right winger before the transfer window shuts.
Yeah.
Astounded.
Just going to do a couple more questions because then obviously we're going to go on to what we've set up. Daniela again, question. Maybe Gahey not as the top player as everyone thinks. Yes, he had a great Euros, but it did come out of the blue. Well, I don't know.
I just think the only reason he got selected for the Euros in the first place was because he had an excellent season.
Well, like I say, he was out as what's her name said for part of the second part of last season. But he was in the first team, and he was obviously doing a half decent job before he got injured, else he wouldn't have got selected. So
Correct.
it shouldn't, it shouldn't reflect on him all of a sudden losing form. I just think we aren't being as easy pushovers as Crystal Palace think we are. Stephen Thomas, if Newcastle get Gahey, do you think he will get placed at the bottom? I know we've done that one. Apologies. Niall. My back four would be Tino, Hall, Barnes, and Shaw. And Kelly, Shaw and Kelly as centre back. So he's got Tino and Hall as full backs and Shaw and Kelly as centre backs. But I can see Eddie play trips and Hall full backs and Byrne and Shaw as centre backs. You go with the trusted.
We were talking about that, after the 2 games, which of the Brest team would get into the Girona team. From a Newcastle point of view, I'm talking the team that we played against Girona and then the team we played against Brest, who would get in. Obviously Bruno would. And then you're looking at Trip, Sartino, Burn or Kelly, and the rest pretty much pick themselves, although you do have the Barnes-Gordon dilemma,
Absolutely.
unless you're going to play one of them on the right.
Well, like I have my thoughts, and I think I'm going to leave them to later on in the week when we come to pick the side, because I do think with the amount of minutes that certain individuals have had, it'll be half and half for certain players. But that's something that I'll come to at a
Yeah,
at a
and I
later
think that's a
time.
good thing, by the way. You know, now that we've got the squad that we've got, we can rotate not just game by game, but within 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
hopefully that'll alleviate a lot of the injury situations.
Toon Talkers, Connor's just put in here, Villa just sold Carlos to Fulham, so Villa now interested. Is that in Gahey? But what I don't know
Nothing's
who
been-
Carlos is.
Nothing's been said about Carlos. I haven't seen anything.
Well, usually Connor's usually up to date with a lot that's going on.
I saw that being mooted this morning.
Right, Ilanga from Forest. Is that what they're after?
Yeah.
Okay. What time? The way kit release? It's Tuesday, isn't it?
Yes.
So, yeah, if you have a look at the advert, it looks like the advert with the train passing. It's signalling the away fans with the Toon shirt. So yeah, the hoop shirt should be out on the 13th. Nothing else in there that I was gonna have a look at. Last couple of questions. Jamstasha, if Eddie drops Burn in favour of Kelly, I think my face will drop in the Cheerios bowl on Saturday morning. What?
Well,
I mean, like I say, it'll be
Eddie is
interesting.
notoriously loyal, but
Yeah.
I think the fact that he's went out and spent the money on Kelly means that he's got plans for him. And by the way, he looked very, very good yesterday.
I don't think, Daniel, could it be the fact that you don't plan to use Gay as a first team player that's the issue? No, that's not the issue at all. I mean, I think the plan is to support the right sided centre back. But I also think the fact that we won't be held to ransom, and I think every player's got a price. Now, it depends on what Newcastle want to do. With the money that they've got in the coffers, because obviously everybody's governed by PSR, apart from certain teams, obviously. So it'll be interesting to see. But he's certainly fact that he's going to be a squad player, because that's what all of the players are. Whether he becomes a first teamer, he has to continue his form. And as Eddie said, I mean, I know people are going to contradict me by saying this, because people are going to shout Longstaff at me when I say they have to be, continued form, I should say.
Well,
Because obviously
here's the
through the
thing,
training.
Longstaff got himself a couple of goals on Friday.
Yeah.
That can only have done his confidence the world of good.
Yeah.
Obviously, he will be starting for the first 3 games
He's
anyway,
got it,
I
hasn't
think
he?
it is.
Yeah.
Because Denali's not battle then. And who knows, he might just grab the chance with 2 hands and
Well, I'm hoping
prove everybody
he does
wrong,
push.
me included.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I'm hoping he does push everybody. Right then, so that's a few of the questions done. There is 1 or 2 little items in the chat, and again, apologies about that. But I've looked at the time. We spent 35 minutes talking about Gay, really, and nobody really knows where we're going. So, like I said, my mate Win has sent me over this little baby, and we were going to do a predict where everybody's going to finish session, just to obviously add a little bit of flavour to the day. And sorry about this ad thing in the corner. There ain't a lot I can do about that. If I can I zoom in on this? I can, and move it across. Maybe we go there. So we're gonna try and take all the ads away until we need to. So we're going to start with these have all got a bit mixed up. Shall we start with Aston Villa? Because obviously then we can go into
Well, if you just stick Aston Villa in the middle somewhere.
Right. So let's see where we go. That's high mid-table, 8 to 12th.
There we go.
So if we start on the green, when you're going to have to tell me in the chat, because what we're going to do, guys, we're going to go with the majority of what people say in the chat. Win and Mason and myself are going to make a decision, and what we'll do, we'll go with the majority of where you guys think Aston Villa will finish in the table this season.
Well, no. The easiest way to do it, Gary, is to we've got Aston Villa there now. So if you go down to Bournemouth,
yeah, but we don't know they're going to be there.
Will Bournemouth finish higher or lower than Aston Villa?
David T saying 7th, Kenny W saying 8th. So it's going to be between these two positions here. That's what I was going to do. Let's get them settled, and then we can go higher or lower.
Right,
you see,
okay.
that's what I want to do. Kenny W saying 16th, 8th to 16th. I think he's talking about Beer Vikings. AV saying 7th. So there's a lot of 7th. But where did you say win?
7.
Originally 7.
Yeah.
So you think they're going to be in the UEFA conference?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to. I'm going to put them in 7th because that looks like the majority. So let's go with Arsenal or Bournemouth if you're going in alphabetical order.
Higher or lower?
Higher or lower for Arsenal, guys?
Higher or lower than Aston Villa? I'll be the only one in the chat anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. We all know where you've done it. If we beat City, I'm just looking at the chat. Arsenal we've got one. We've got a top 3. So I said they were going to finish 3rd this year. That was my prediction. At the minute, I've got the same equal numbers. I've got 1 second coming in. Mason, where did you think they're going to finish? Arsenal.
It's an interesting one with Arsenal. It's the fact it all depends what happens with Man City in these 15 charges.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they'll be up there again. But the fact is,
Yeah.
I think that the fact is Arsenal are going to be back up there again, and I feel like they've got a chance. I feel like I think it'll be them and Liverpool up there. But if up there, and that depends if Man City hits
1, 2, or 3.
Higher than Villa.
Higher than Villa.
Yeah. Not champions,
I think
Man City get. So we're going to go 2 to 4. Are you happy with that?
Yeah. At the moment, yes. Depends all what happens with Man City.
Okay, Bournemouth, guys. Where do you think Bournemouth is going to go? Definitely lower.
Definitely lower.
I think they'll struggle. I think they'll struggle this season without Solanke.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a massive problem.
I would love to have got Solanke.
Probably keep them there.
So at the minute, I've got them 13th to 17th in lower mid-table. And it looks like what's coming through on the scoreboards is exactly what we've said. Lower to mid-table, I'm going to go with that. Next team is Brentford. Now, this is going to be a problem year for Brentford, I think. But I'd put them exactly where Bournemouth are. Don't think they're quite relegation, but I think this is going to be a season to test them. Bournemouth 13th to 17th, which is what I've got. And Brentford, they've gone 12th. I've got 112. What do you guys think?
I think where you've got them there, unless what's his face does a magnificent job, because I think apart from anything else, there's every chance that we could get in Mbeumo. And if they haven't got Tony and Mbeumo,
yeah,
I feel sorry for them.
I'm going to go put them 8 to 12. That all depends
You're
as
good.
well. If
Okay.
that all depends
So
if Tony and Bremo goes. And the fact is as well, of just the kid the lad who just signed for 33 million is out for half the season. So I think I know they've still got Tony, but they're not going to have a striker. Not going to have a striker for half the season.
yeah,
That's where they're going.
So
Where they're going to be at the end, coming the end of the season.
But you're saying above Bournemouth, yeah?
so it looks like everybody's saying above Bournemouth. So I'm going to go
Right.
there.
Okay.
All right. So
Above.
that's
I'm
interesting.
going to put above Bournemouth. Oh, Niles just reminded us of signing Fabio Carvalho from Liverpool.
Yeah, the Cavallo.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Okay. So you're happy there?
Yeah.
Okay. Brighton. Oh, here we go. Where do we go with Brighton?
Well, I say higher
yeah.
than Brentford.
Yeah. So, okay. So you'd put the what between 8 and 12, would?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to leave them there.
And we'll sort them out in a minute.
Yeah. I would have said
Ninth,
that.
eighth,
Yeah. I would have said around about the 10th mark, 10, the 11th.
mid high. Everybody's going there. 8th,
So
6th,
yeah.
or
So
JJ.
that's
That's a
like I
big
said,
call.
it is a big call. They've done well though in the pre-season.
Yeah. Minty to take Brighton at least 8th.
Yeah, I love
It'd
Ben.
be-
You happy with
be
that,
interesting.
Mason?
Yes, but it's going to be interesting to see how this new manager gets Brighton playing this season.
Yeah. He's certainly got them moving at the minute. He's certainly got them working.
I know
Let's
they've got.
have
I
a
know.
look at.
I know. But I was going to put them higher, but I agree where you've put them because I would have put them higher if Pascal Gross had stayed.
Yeah. Okay. Chelsea. This is a tricky one.
God.
Where do you reckon Chelsea will be? I'm going to put them here at the minute, but I'm going to go with the flow.
Higher than Villa for me.
So you've got them in the top 6 win.
Yep,
What?
absolutely.
Okay. So I've got 6-5. Everybody's thinking the same as you, buddy. Warren's put the 5th position. Beers put 5th. So that's interesting. Just trying to give it a couple of more seconds because it looks
I
like.
think Chelsea will be top 4.
2 to 4. Ben's come in with 2 to 4. Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
and me.
Oh, you got it up to 2nd.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're going to
yeah.
put them in here. Right. Okay. Wow.
I agree with you there.
Well, I'm just going to put them there for now because I'm going to count in be a Viking
Well,
20th.
with
Let's have
each
a look.
one you can
We've got
just
1, 2,
compare to a
3,
different
4,
club.
5, 6. So I'm going to go exactly where they are because everybody more or less, he said, apart from a few like Beard who's put down 20th, have more or less said that. And Ben's put obviously the 2nd to 2 to 4, which is where Arsenal is. So
Yeah,
that's
you say
interesting.
that. Yeah, you say that. I think aren't going to do anything about that, especially with him.
Crystal Palace. This is an interesting one. Let's get them to mid-table, and then we'll go from there. I'm gonna put them next to Brighton. That would be where I see them. What about you guys?
Yeah, I'll go along with that.
Well, it all depends what happens with because there's talk of they're wanting to bring Zaha back.
Yeah,
It all depends. And with the way Glasnow's got them playing, if they bring him back, I feel like they'll be.
Did you think Zaha was that good? Because obviously they've got Eze playing on the left wing, and Zaha as well. How old is he now? He's got to be getting on.
30.
Well, I mean, a lot depends on do they hang on to Gay. I'm amazed nobody's been in for Wharton, me.
No, well, I agree. I would snap him up in a heartbeat, mate. But obviously, have you seen the price they've put on him?
No, how much?
60 million.
I don't think that's untoward.
Oh, so are we all happy with where they are? It looks like everybody's saying virtually what we're
as I
saying.
say,
aren't we?
as you go along, it'll become apparent because you just compare them
You
to
can't-
the other clubs.
Yeah, you can't put everybody in them positions, can you? Everton. Where are these guys going to go?
13, 17 for me.
Yeah, that's where I've put them. So I'm just going to give 31. Warren. I gather he means 13. Lower mid. Kenny W.
No, I think that's it's Wilfred Zaha's age.
Ah, right, okay. I hope so. I was going to say he's got to be
It
over
is.
30. Yeah,
He
it's
is
got to be
31.
over.
I just checked.
And that's what I'm saying. But he plays on the same side as Eze, so unless he's coming to support Eze, what they'll be looking for somebody on the right hand side, surely.
Yeah, so more or less everybody's the same there, I think,
Yeah.
apart from Bia, who's saying 20th.
DVT's just mentioned they might around the relegation spaces again with the
With the deduction of points.
deduction
Yeah.
points deduction what's been rumoured.
Absolutely. And you know, I'm in total agreement with this. This is what we said about Man City. There are all the things that you've got to question mark.
Yeah,
It's like Leicester, isn't it?
We've just got to
You know,
ignore PSO, I think.
But you can't, again, without knowing the facts, we can't go on guesstimates. So just your gut feeling of where these guys are going to finish. Southampton.
Relegation.
Yeah, I think so. I think with the championship, with only signing Lallana, who's got the Premier League experience, and with the only experienced Premier League player in that team.
You know, if you're relying on Adam Armstrong for your goals in the Prem, you've got a bit of a worry.
You cannot have a team full of inexperienced players and an inexperienced Premier League manager. As much as I love Russell Morton, but unfortunately, I feel like Southampton probably, if they don't get a few more Premier League experienced players in, I feel like they'll unfortunately have to be down and then drop again.
Fulham.
Lower mid.
Let's see what you guys
I'd say they're pulling any trees up.
No, well, again, without being too disrespectful, like you say, they haven't really bought anybody. They're okay. They've had a half decent pre-season. So I agree. I think
they've mainly signed Smith Rowe and Yorkie Cook.
Yeah.
That's it. And
nothing major, have they?
And they've only brought in Smith Rowe, Cook and Ryan Sessegnon.
But he's put everybody at the 20th.
But the fact is, not to mention, I think they'll struggle this season without Paulinho. I think they'll struggle this season without him. I
hate doing this. Yeah, exactly. I hate putting Ipswich at relegation because I hoped, just obviously sentimental to Sir Bobby. I hope they get lower mid, but I can't see it.
No, I'm the same.
So
I'll give everybody for me, sadly.
Yeah. It will be sad. I mean, I reckon it could be. Oh, Niles put 14.
Well, there is usually
Fulham,
surprise.
No idea. Did they lose? Go on. Sorry. What was you saying?
I just, they haven't got any Prem experience at all. They've come through two divisions. To expect them to perform here, it's.
So, do you think the manager's got no chance of?
I think the manager's excellent, by the way. But,
but you say that, but he does have Premier League experience because he was on the coaching staff of Man United.
Man United, yeah. But that's
Yeah,
totally
the
different
manager
to
has, but I'm saying
players.
none of the players have.
Oh, I think they'll be around there, but I feel like they'll just survive.
Okay. What about Leicester?
We're doomed
survive?
because we're pretty sure they are getting docked, aren't we?
Well, without the docking, where do you think they'll finish? I think they'd probably finish in 17, just above relegation.
And
But I'm
again,
going to go. I'm going to put them in relegation and see where we. Well, Leicester are back down. Leicester are 20th. Relegation. Everybody's saying relegation, and I think that's because of PSL.
and again, if it's such a Dewsbury Hall as well.
Yep.
Yeah, the ruffians said Leicester are low mid. So he's thinking like I am. That's without the points deduction, because we don't know. 3 up, 3 foot down for me. Yep. Okay. Liverpool. Let's
Top
get them
6.
up. You say top 6. I'm going to put
Yep.
them there for now. Let's see what the comparison is. What do you think, Mason? While we're waiting for them to come in.
It all
But yeah,
depends
said
how
21st.
it all depends how the players. I know they've had a decent pre-season. But it all depends. Will Arne Slot adapt in the Premier League?
Mm.
That's my. I know they've still got some of the players from like on the club, etc. But they haven't signed anybody, mate. They haven't signed anybody.
No, but do they need to sign somebody? That's the
Probably
question.
not.
Man City haven't
Probably
signed
not.
anybody.
But my worry is for Liverpool.
Andy in the chat.
Oh, good evening.
Hi, Andy.
Good evening.
Oh, guys, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt Mason.
Oh, what was it? Oh, yeah. As I just said, that will Arne Slot adapt in the Premier League? Will the players adapt to his style of football in the Premier League?
Mm.
It's an interesting one for me. I would probably go with 5 or 6.
You want to put them leave them where they are?
Yeah, because I think I think this is going to be a learning curve season for them players and the Arne Slot, because he's never managed in the Premier League before. Because as what you see about Eredivisie, the Premier League is a big step to that league.
Okay. Everybody's gone fourth. I've got to hand it to you, mate. Everybody's backed you up there, matey. Liverpool fourth, second to fourth. So yeah, okay. I'm gonna pop them just by them.
What do you reckon, Andy?
From what I've seen, I think Mason's bang on. I think it's gonna be a transition season for them. I mean, they've been impressive in pre-season, I'll be honest. Szoboszlai's played in the 6. They've had everyone playing in the 6. To me, I was watching something. I think it was Lawrence McKenna, and he summed it up for me. They're not going to go and get a Fabinho type holding midfielder. They want a ball playing midfielder, don't they? Someone that keeps them ticking over. So, but if they can find that person, they've got plenty of attacking power, and we know how good they are defensively. Van Dijk and Konate are fit. So, yeah, they could push like they did last season, but I don't expect them doing any better than what they did last season. So Mason's bang on, second and fourth.
Okay. That's everybody in the chat seems to be Gravenbach is playing there as well. So they do seem to have a pretty solid team. Man City.
Top
you reckon they'll do it again? Second.
Well, it'll certainly be up there.
I'll put them a second at the minute. I'm going to wait for the chat. What the chat say. Man City champs. Sergeant Charles Zim has said first. Niall said first. Beers said first.
I know they've saying that Savino.
Go on.
I know they've saying that Savino, but I know I would say every season before the season starts, I would put Man City up the top because nobody's going to get past them. But no, nothing's been said on these 115 charges. What's going to happen?
No,
What's going to
exactly.
what's the punishment going to be? I think I'll put them.
Could take years though before we find anything out with that.
I think I'll put them up top for now.
Yeah, everybody's gone with up top, so we'll put them as champions.
My argument would be, well, are Arsenal going to finish third for the third time in a row? Maybe this is the season where they've learned what it takes to actually challenge for a league title, because they weren't far off last season with it. Let's be honest. The banking bet Man City to win the league, but I've got a sneaky suspicion Arsenal will push them a bit closer this season.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate. I think they've got every chance to get up there. Sorry, I'm just choking.
I think the bubbles burst.
Fancy Southampton to go down, mind.
You've got Southampton to go down.
I don't fancy them to go down. I think they'll stay up.
Oh, okay, where do you think? Lower mid?
Yeah, I think the next lot of mid. Yeah, I think they'll probably be in the fight still with a couple of games to go, but I think there'll be one that just has enough to, depending whether they get Fraser. I think if you base it on if they've got the same squad as what they had last season and a few more, then yeah. But if they don't bring Fraser back, I think that's goals and assists that they'll lose. So yeah, I mean the banking bet is to have them in the relegation fight, but Bournemouth, I think they'll be higher than lower mid-table.
Apparently somebody's seen Fraser. Sorry, Gary.
Go on. No, go on, please.
I seen something on Facebook this afternoon that somebody had seen Fraser at Newcastle Airport this afternoon.
Encouraging.
Yeah, could be. Let's see what happens. I'm going to leave. What we'll do, we'll have a look at because obviously there's going to be some shuffling around because obviously there's only so many positions for so many teams, so we may have to do a little bit of a shuffle anyway towards the end. I'll leave them there for now. Man United.
Oh. Could you just leave them at the bottom there, Gary, and then we'll just.
So.
2 to 4 for me.
You're going for number 4.
2 to 4, yeah.
I'm gonna go 7th.
You're gonna go 7th, Mason.
It's an interesting one. I'm thinking more of the rough read finishing.
1, 2. So everybody's
go
majority looks 5 and 6. So I am going to be looking at 5 and 6 in a minute. If you can't tell me something different,
I'm going to go with 8.
You're going to go 8. So that's 1, 2, 3. Because that's what we're doing at the minute, and we're looking at the majority of what people think.
Yeah.
And then, like I say, what we can do is go back to it at the end. And when there's too many teams in the same slot, we're going to have to do some moving. So I'm going to go with the majority of what's said then. So I'm going to put them there in the 5th and 6th position. The Toon. Here we go. Where do we think the Toon's going to be?
Top 4 for me.
Yeah, I'm going to put us there. Let's see what everybody else thinks. Starting, Win said top 4. I said top 4. Mason?
I said it earlier on. I think if we play like what we did in the first half an hour against Girona through the season, I feel like we'll be in the top 4.
Yeah. So everybody looks. Niall's put in 4th with a new right centre back and right winger, or otherwise 7th.
3rd, 1st. This is how I get on, JJ, son.
Yeah. Good lad. So it looks like everybody's saying exactly what we've just said. So I'm going to stick.
I'm going to go 5th,
Andy. You're going to go 6.
Yeah, 5th,
so you're going to go. I'm just having a look to make sure I haven't got anything.
I think it's more. I'm edging more towards 5th than I am 6th, but I'm still. I still see Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea ahead of us.
The trouble is with Chelsea with 47 players, who do you pick?
It's Spurs, Villa.
Yeah,
But I totally agree with what Mason's just said there. I mean, if we play like we did the first 20 minutes, we'll beat anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
And no European football.
And no
Yeah,
European,
that could be. That really could be
there. Forest. I'm going to start there.
Yeah, I agree.
And then we'll see where you guys think. We dropped points last season, even with the injury games. We should have won. I mean, like I said, what we didn't have last year, which is what we've seemed to have this year, is a little bit of support in depth. So even with injuries now, I can't see it changing that much. The biggest problem I see, and I've said it from day one, is if we lose Bruno. Because it doesn't look like we have got anybody in the side. And I know people say we've got Tonali back. But Tonali and Bruno are a totally different pairing. So for me, if I was to go anywhere, and I've said this before, right-sided centre midfield or a number 6, a ball-playing number 6, where we can release Bruno on the right of the 3 a little bit more, I think that would be me going forward. But like I say, we can't have
somebody
everything.
like a Wharton, perhaps.
Somebody like, well, you know, is Wharton still raw? Is he going to show us the way forward? I mean, obviously he's got age with him. What is he? Just turned 20? Something silly?
Yeah, 21.
Amazing
I think.
player.
21.
Yeah, I think he's going to be an amazing player.
I think Forest could sneak into the top 12. Like, I just worry for them scoring goals. I think they'll create many chances. It's just how many will they put away. Or in Awoniyi, if he can stay fit, he'll get them goals.
Yeah. Well, Chris Wood, they're all banging the Chris Wood drum at the minute. West Ham. Come on, Daniela. Tell us where you're going to be. Where do you think, guys? I'm going to go there. You're going to go 7?
You know what it is? I think with the caliber of signings they've got, I feel like they'll be 5th. They'll go 5th.
Oh, okay, that's really hard.
So
there is a few people actually tipping them.
So who are they going to finish above? Chelsea or Man U?
Yeah, because I've got to move 1.
Man U.
So you don't think Man U are going to get there? So do you drop Man U into 7th and Villa into the 8 to 12 slot then? If we're going to put them there.
I think with the amount of actually, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to go with Chelsea.
You're going to go with Chelsea? So you think Chelsea are going to drop down?
Because I think at least Man United players have a little bit of fight compared to Chelsea. So I think I feel like Europa League will be West Ham and Man United.
Okay, Andy. Oh,
Andy's just had to dip out.
Yeah, that's all right. That's okay. What did you think?
Well, I think Man U will finish above West Ham.
Yeah. So you've got West Ham in 7?
Yeah.
I'm just having a look at where. No way, West Ham above 7.
But I would have Chelsea above Villa as well.
Yeah, well, I don't think I'm going to move them there. I don't think Villa's going to do grand. I think it's going to be more like that with Villa at 8 going forward. But like I say, we'll address it a little bit more in a minute when we've got them all on the. Oh, you're back with us, Andy?
Yeah. Sorry, my dog was crying at the door. Apologies.
No. That's all right, mate. It's no problem. So I've just shuffled a couple around. Well, like I say, we can come and address everything in a minute because obviously I'm just looking at what people are putting down for West Ham. And it seems as though the consensus is around about the 7th mark, Europa. And Daniela, obviously. We also don't have European football and our fixtures are spread out nicely. That's what Daniela says. So she's happy. This, unfortunately, is that you can't see here, is the dark blue of Spurs. So where do you think Spurs are going to end up? I've put them high mid-table at the minute.
5-6 for me.
You've gone
Hmm.
5-6.
I think
So
they're
who
in
do
the
you take
category
out?
with Man United and Chelsea, yeah. But just behind us.
So who do you take out?
Man U.
I'd take Man United out of that, personally. But I'm
Okay, where
biased
would
because
you?
it'll upset the wife, so.
Yeah. Oh well, no.
Yeah, I
well,
would love. Yeah, I would love it if it did. 'Cause I can't
So let's have a look
stand-
at what the majority think. The majority are saying 5 to 6, with a couple saying
Can we do
7
what Pierre did? What
and
Pierre
one
said?
saying 8. The Molly Win thinks about 7 teams and 5th or 6th.
That's why, you know, if you go higher or lower, it's not what I think, it's what everybody else thinks.
Well, like I said, we can shuffle around in a second because you
Yeah.
can't have too many teams in the same slot. So, like I said, this is when it becomes the debate then, doesn't it?
So we've got Wolves now.
So let's see where Wolves are, because at the minute I've got everybody apart from these two that are vying for 7 spots. So let's have a look at what you think of Wolves. Will they have? I'm going to start there.
Yeah.
I think that's where they'll finish. Maybe where you've got the Bournemouth 13th, 14th. So they've lost Neto and Raul Jimenez is not the striker he was.
No. I'm just having a quick
Lost
look.
Kilman.
Yeah. They've
Lost
lost a few,
Adama
haven't they?
Traore. Yeah.
Neto's gone. He was obviously
Jimenez is a full man.
He's at Fulham, isn't he? Sorry, apologies. He is, isn't he? Well, I haven't got him anyway, so Wang's a decent striker. But what else have they got up top other than is it Chilean kid? No, he's at Fulham as well, isn't he? Muniz or whatever his name is. I think they struggle scoring goals.
Okay. So we've got everybody on the table now, right? So what we're going to do, I'm just going to put that on the screen just for now. Sorry, Andy, I'm covering your lovely face for a second.
I'm sure no one will be upset about
that. Just guys, before we do have a shuffle, please, if you can, including the panel members, please hit the likes button if you can for us just before we go into the finale of this, because obviously this is where it all becomes a little bit of a swapsy-turvy. So at the top, we've got Man City as champs. It sounds like there was a majority of us that said Man City will still remain as champions this year. Could change, obviously, with the 115, but we're taking that out of the equation. We're having Man City there. So we've got second as Arsenal at the minute, third as Liverpool, and Newcastle in fourth. Is the panel in agreement with that?
I'll concede. I think we'll finish 5th, but I'll concede 4th, yes.
I'm going on the majority, and of what we said at the start. And everybody, the majority of us said, there was a lot of guys said, like you just said, 5. And like I said, for me, it was like I said 4th at the outset of last year, so I'm going to stick with that. Wynn said 4th. Mason, I can't remember what you said. You were unsure, wasn't you?
Well, I said second.
Who's this?
Oh, sorry, you said second in your what's the name? Yeah.
Is this with Man City?
No, this is for Newcastle. Just to finalise places.
Ooh.
It doesn't look like anybody else.
I think I'll top 4.
Do you think anybody who's not there is going to get in the top 4?
So,
just Chelsea, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's Chelsea and possibly Man United if they click. That's going to potentially, but I don't see Man United doing very well at all.
Well, they've done all right pre-season, haven't they? That's what I'm saying.
Was yesterday a little bit of a? I don't know. I think that was a little bit of a. Man City didn't really show up yesterday, and they never really start the season the normal standard that you'd
No.
expect that Man City did it. I think
No.
Arsenal beat them in the Community Shield last season as well, didn't they?
They did.
So I'd say the Community Shield is.
Yeah, but it's a non-entity, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
it is a warm-up game for the Premier League, unfortunately. So I'm going to leave it as it is for now. What I'm going to say then, 5th and 6th, is everybody happy with Chelsea and Tottenham? 5th and 6th.
Yeah, I think they'll both be above 7th.
Yeah. Yeah. Mason, yeah? Happy? So
I
this
think
is where it's
Villa
going to
could
get
be
a
in
bit
that
sticky.
argument.
Okay. Well, we're going to have another argument in a minute because we've got one spot voided by two teams, West Ham and Man United. One has got to move. Who do you think is going to move?
I think Man United will finish above West Ham.
Okay. Mason? Foxy's saying he thinks Chelsea will make the top 4.
So do I.
If they can sign more players. The squad just isn't big enough. They want 5 players in each position.
They'll sell form by 8, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Arsenal will be outside the top 6.
What?
Yeah, I think you put him in 8th, didn't you? Arsenal. 8th.
Did you see them rip Bayern Leverkusen a new one the other day?
Absolutely.
Yep.
They did do well. So which one's going to drop down, guys? West Ham
Man
or
U.
Man U?
Man U.
Man U? Okay. So we've got 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So which one in order?
Villa 8th, Man U 9th.
Villa 8th,
I
Man U
hope.
9th. Brentford, Brighton, and Crystal Palace.
Well, I would have Brentford in the next level, but
Okay, well, we can do that in a second if somebody needs to jump up one.
I'd go Brighton ahead of Brentford.
Okay, what about Palace?
Who they're going to bring in?
Palace is a dodgy one because of who are they going to keep?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
shall we put them in that one there, just behind Brighton?
Yep.
As it stands, yeah.
13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Where do you reckon Bournemouth will finish in amongst? Well, who's going to finish 13th?
Well, I think
I'd go
Bournemouth
Everton.
will finish above Brentford.
So Bournemouth is going to be up here, you say, and Brentford down here.
You've got to remember Solanke's left, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So that's Wynn's position. So he thinks Bournemouth's going to finish in 12th and Brentford are going to finish 13th.
I think Everton will finish above Brentford personally. Lundstrom's a really good signing for them.
So you're going Everton 13th?
I think the experience of Mikhail Schwandeich as well. If they keep Calvert-Lewin fit, keep the majority of the squad, Harrison and everything fit, they're more than capable of finish 13th, I think.
Yeah. What about Fulham?
Oh, nice for Fulham.
At the minute, they're currently
I think it'd
sitting
be
in 15th. Go on, Base.
I agree with 15th because I think with losing Paulinho to the Bayern, I think they're going to struggle the season, so I'm going to go with 15th.
Mm.
So
There you go.
out of these two, who's going to be battling
I know
closest to relegation then? Wolves or
Wolves,
Forest?
I think. Well, I think
Yeah,
Wolves
I
are
think
the
Wolves.
biggest danger.
Yeah. You're going to leave them in that position then, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't matter about who's at the bottom. I can't see Southampton because I think once they get the deduction of points, I think Leicester potentially could finish bottom of the tree. So let's just bring that back to some. I don't know whether I can move that anymore now. So are we all in agreement then? Then that's is going to be the finished article. Man City,
Yeah.
Arsenal, Liverpool, Toon, Chelsea, Spurs, West Ham, Villa, United, Brighton, Palace, Bournemouth, Everton, Brentford, Fulham, Forest, Wolves, just above the relegation, and the three teams that come up, unfortunately, Ipswich, Southampton, and Leicester, straight back down.
Just before we lock that in, Gary, has anybody else said Arsenal to win the league, or just me having
Just you.
an epiphany?
But it's like I said, the majority was saying between 2 and 4, because I still think they're in desperate need of a striker.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm honest, if they could go and buy,
it's beyond me
out-and-out
why they
striker.
haven't bought a striker. Absolutely, totally beyond me.
I
They
mean,
scored 91 goals last season, didn't they? They had the best highest goal scoring Premier League season in
but
history.
can you imagine if they'd have got an out-and-out striker there rather than Havertz and
Mhm.
Jesus? You know what I mean? What they could have, because they're obviously getting their
Well,
opportunities.
except then
and
they've
their
got to change
chances.
their style of play, of course.
Yeah, they do try and walk everything in, I must admit.
Yeah.
But I think if they were to get an out-and-out striker now, I don't think Man City would touch them. If I'm honest, that's my opinion. I know Wynn sees it, like I say, for some unknown reason. As
It's even if that striker wasn't the first choice, it's when they're like drawing a game or the one behind, getting someone as a target man where they can just go direct a little bit more, like a Mitrovic or a Vlahovic or someone like that, someone that keeps them high up the pitch.
Yeah. I mean, it is. I got your Newcastle fans, but Newcastle over United is crazy. So Blitz Extreme is in the chat. So we've got obviously a few people in the chat. I mean, listen, this is always
He's saying that, but we finished up with them last season.
Last season, yeah, exactly.
And that was that was with a half a team.
Exactly, that was with 12 senior players going to PSG with Champions League football. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, you're always going to have people that question it, and that's what I said. It becomes a debate. I think, and I've said this from the start, I think this is probably going to be the toughest Premier League for the top 10 that's been for a long time, because I think there's a lot of teams in that top 10 that could all take points off each other on the day. So I think it's going to be a bit of a tough one.
There never has been an easy game in the Prem, and this season coming up, it's.
I think if we get 5 of them right, we're doing well in the top half.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was just going to. I've taken a photograph. In actual fact, I was just going to do a share on it, but I'm going to put a photo of it, and then we can put it up on our chat to see how right we are at the end of the at the end of the season, because it'll be interesting to look back at exactly where we are, and obviously we can blame the guys in the chat as well, because
is everybody happy that Liverpool are going to finish above Newcastle? Because I'm not.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, for me, as of yet,
I would rather finish
until we
above
can
Man
get
United.
a right winger. Go on, mate.
Sorry,
Derek has the thing. Derek has. This is mine. I would rather finish above Man U than Liverpool.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to do that anyway.
Yeah, I think that's a given. Personally, unless they go big.
I just think with Klopp going, I think Liverpool are going to struggle a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a transition for a few teams, isn't it?
I think Chelsea are going to be up there.
Yeah, but they're under a transition as well, aren't they? The new manager.
But you just got to look at the quality in the squad, man.
Yeah, but you've got to pick a 11 from it, and a lot of good managers before this one has struggled. And if you look at his pre-season, he hasn't gone down too well either, has it? And as much as he's already alluded to about does he know his first 11 yet? And he said when he was over in America that what he's picking at the moment is a way of him having a look at every single player and trying to get a team together from what he's seen. And then obviously you've got your style of management as well. So the lads have also got to adapt to that, and that's what I can't understand. I mean, they've just lost Reece James to injury, so there's a lot of question marks to Chelsea. I think you're very generous putting them at 5 and 6. If I'm honest, I think they could drop down to 8 to 12th, especially in their first season. I'm not saying it'll stay, but I think under Maresca, with all the players that they've got, he could find it hard up until Christmas to find, as Poch did when he was there. He found it difficult for the first part of the season to get the 11 to gel, and when he did, obviously he walked away. So there's obviously.
I don't know if anybody watched them against Barca the other day. I think it was last weekend. But attacking wise, they had the moments, but organisation, midfield, and defence, they were average, and I mean bang average.
Yeah, but I mean, and Maresca made a point of saying that about not having all of his players back and available, the likes of Palmer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
One player don't make a team, does it?
No.
When you put his Palmer, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, like I say, I'm not saying he's a bad player because I'd love him in our.
But again, could Palmer be a one season wonder?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he certainly went to the Euros.
I don't think so, personally, but
no, I don't.
It's a possibility.
He could be, though. He could.
It's how do you fit in Cuckoo, Palmer, Sterling, Madueke? I mean, there's going to be players get annoyed throughout the season, and Maresca's going to have a right ball ache dealing with that, I think.
Here's the thing.
Absolutely.
Who would have Sterling at the tune?
Yes, I would.
I give him a
I
chance.
would.
Because I would.
What, on the right side?
Yeah.
Whether we would give him 300 grand a week or not is different. But
watch this space. Well, if you're getting them for washers,
I don't know. If I'm honest,
they've got to unload some players. They've got to.
They have absolutely.
At the minute, their revenue is just about covering their wages. Their wages now are just
astronomical. 44 senior players in the squad. The nearest in the Premier League is 27.
Yeah. And they're all on an absolute minimum of $1 million a year.
Oh,
I mean, lots of them are on much more than that. But even if you just said $1 million a year, 44 players.
Sterling's on 10-12 million a year, and he's on 220, 240 grand a week.
And so are some of the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
But even just taking it as $1 million a year for 44 players, it's 44 million a year. They're only getting double that of the Prem.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I still think I'm still out on Chelsea. I think we've been very, very generous to put them in 5th and 6th. I know they've got some amazing players, but I am, from what I've I said before the pre-season friendlies that they may struggle, and then to continue buying new players to fit into a brand new manager style, which isn't a problem. The problem is he's picking 11 from the 47 that you've got. So if it was me and I went and we were saying this the other day, I would probably put Man United in the Euros. But again, is Solanke going to be the answer for Spurs? Because obviously, they've. How are they going to play? It's one for me. I still think Spurs are going to be down on the 8th to 12th alongside Villa, and I would have moved Man United up, say Chelsea, leave Chelsea there as it was the void.
What's the chat regarding Villa? Is everyone got them 8th to 12th? Are they or?
Yeah, the majority said 8th to 12th because
8th.
Obviously, 6th to 8th.
Right,
you said, wasn't it?
I don't see the negativity around them. They finished. I think it's the fact they've got Champions League footballers. How are they going to adjust? like what we didn't do at times last season, obviously having injuries. But they've made some
They've
good
just lost their
signings.
main midfielder.
They've got
Maddison on the
we
left.
haven't got.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they have just lost their main midfielder, and like I said, you take him out of that Villa side. Yes, they've signed some good players, but does it? Do you replace like for like? Because obviously every player comes with a certain form, doesn't it? With a certain standard. So it may take them a season to get firing on all cylinders. That's what I say. I mean,
I think
we all
the
know
case
what
is
they
going to
can
be
do
they're good enough to finish 5th, 6th, but will they be able to compete in the Champions League and the league? I
as
think
well.
that is for me. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Which is where we struggled, especially if they get any injuries as well. But like I said, we've all got opinions on this, and this isn't to upset anybody because obviously there's going to be people
No.
in the chat that will see it differently. We know Daniela's a massive West Ham fan. We know they've bought well. It wouldn't surprise me under Lopetegui whether they really have a go this year. It's whether he can manage the players better than he did at Wolves, because obviously he struggled when he was at Wolves. So it's going to be an interesting one. But like I say, I'm really looking forward to this year. I think it's going to be a real interesting year.
Bring it on.
And Bournemouth, I mean, the form they had towards the end of last season, I mean, they give us probably one of the most convincing defeats we had at St James's last season. They really had a really good run at the end of the season, as did Palace. Obviously, Palace have lost Elise. Hopefully, they lose Gay to us. But they've still got the likes of Eze there. Zaha's been linked to go back. Because that's a like-for-like replacement, let's say. You know what Zaha's like at Palace. So I think if Bournemouth could go and get a striker that they could depend on, they'll just carry on from where they were last season, which was their form is indicating that they could finish in the top half quite comfortably.
Yeah, you see, it's like this. Well, Foxy's just put here. Look, impossible to predict Liverpool season. Slotter's more experienced than Maresca. And like I said, it's because they've not bought anybody in. He's got a already set up side there that obviously Klopp's left him. So it's whether he can impose his managerial coaching style onto what players they've already got. Lars has put Chelsea, Man U, Everton to go down this year.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Be allowed to dream.
One can dream.
Absolutely.
If Carlsberg made Premier League tables.
Yeah, absolutely. Blitz Extreme, he must be a United fan. I'm being honest, on God, there's maybe one or two first-team players from Newcastle in United's first team.
So Bruno, Isaac, Gordon wouldn't get that side.
Gordon.
Joe Linton would walk in that team.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Botman, if he's fit, would walk on that side. They're desperate for centre-halves. Left back.
Look at the midfielders. Yeah, desperate for midfielders. Never mind
centre-halves. I wonder if he says that if Trippier ends up going at the end of the window.
Yeah. Mad, isn't it? That's what I said. I mean, you like I say, you're always going to have people that have issues, and like I say, we said last year. Unfortunately, we got spanked with our pants down with the injuries and stuff like that. And yes, there was always going to be people of certain football clubs that will point the finger and say, "You're supposed to be the richest team in the world. What's going on? You should be able to buy." This is the problem. This is the problem that we are now facing because of previous ownerships, which we've already gone over.
I think we're keeping Mason up.
Yeah, bless him. It's well past your bedtime, Mace. Obviously, the Tiger's saying that he wants Ferran Torres for him, and that would be a good season if we can get Gay and Ferran Torres. I'd be more than happy with that. Just
the fact is with Ferran Torres.
Yeah.
The fact is with Ferran Torres, right? He only lasted one season at Man City because of hope sickness. That's my worry if he comes to Newcastle, because he might do the same. Because Manchester's only 2.5 hours from.
Yeah.
It's fair enough.
I think that's it.
So that's my problem.
He was quite young then as well, wasn't he? Though.
His home favourite.
Absolutely, yeah. He was very young, and but I think the problem is it's. I know it's going to sound really crazy because I have no idea how Man United look after their youngsters, but obviously I've seen all the stories. I've heard all the stories get from the Nevilles and God knows what of what happens, and it's how you deal with it. It's like I said, we've heard Lewis Hall say about his problems when he first moved up northeast. Even though his family are fans of Newcastle, his dad's a local boy and all this. So you look at it and you start saying to yourself, we've dealt with him, we've wrapped him up in cotton wool, we've nurtured him, and we've waited for them to progress. Now, unfortunately, with Torres, would we have that availability to do it with Torres because we're so desperate for a right winger? Would we want somebody that would be able to just jump into the squad straight away, hit the ground running, and support us? Because, apart from obviously Murphy, who's been, banging a few goals in for us, the right-hand side is our weakest point, where you go from the right wing to right centre midfield to right back, or to right centre back, I should say. So that whole spine part of our team needs an upgrade. Now, how much do we dig into our purse strings to get Gay in? That stops us then developing a decent right winger. That's what I said. You've got to balance the book somewhere.
No,
I
don't think getting both is a problem.
And Bembo would be a good bet
we
from
can
Brighton.
afford Gay and a top-class right winger.
I'd gone from Bembo from Brighton, Brentford rather.
Well, I think he's probably like the last resort.
So
last resort. I think it was 23 starts last season, 9 goals.
No, I love him. I love him, Andy. But yeah. I think they're trying to do better.
Right, I know what you mean. Yeah, he's on the list, but he's low down. Yeah.
They'll just go in and more or less pay whatever Brentford want, really, within reason.
Yeah, he's young as well. I didn't realise he's only 25.
25, yeah. It's all about time, as said with you. Imagine our front three with Sterling playing right wing. Be an absolute unbeatable front three with Isaac.
There was talk that Sterling's on his way out.
Oh yeah. It wasn't it a foreign club though that was interested in him?
Juventus.
Juventus. Yeah. Wilson, yeah.
The wrong black and white shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Don't want to replace one bad diver for another. If Sterling.
He's got a point there, hasn't
he? Yeah. Oh, Tiger. That's a bit negative, lad. Imagine Southampton Spankers opening day. Haha, watch the social media meltdown.
Well, that certainly would be.
I hope we're not coming back to this on form in that comment.
Exactly. Let's see. Loan Sterling offer pay 80k a week of his wages for that first year. Well, we saw how much he was on when we had a sneak preview of his wage slip. That was crazy. Just looking at anything else that's in there. Beers said Villa at 20th. We can still, well, that's what we were saying before. Can see Villa dropping off just like we did. I think a similar ability.
Well, that can't because they've got a much deeper squad.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, you're right. The midfield is stacked. They've got McGinn, Kamara. I know Kamara's injured until about end of September, October. Yeah. They've signed Onana. They've got Jacob Ramsey. They've got the young kid they got from Man City that was scoring at the end of the season. I can't think of his name. What did you say there? Sorry, oh, he's gone. God, what's his name? The young kid that they got from Man City. That was Morgan. Is it Morgan?
Yeah. It is.
He looks at prospects. Then you look at up front. They've got Bailey. They've got Bailey. They've got Watkins. They've got the Colombian kid again. Can't think of his name. They and even centre back Diego Carlos Mings, Pau Torres. They've got some. And then look at the wing backs, Mattison. My brain's gone blank there for a moment. They've got the new kid, Dutch kid Mattison. They've got
Mattison from Chelsea.
They've got Cash. They've got Yeah, we'll change the subject because my brain's gone. I've only had a few hours kicked,
No,
as you
I
can
think
I
we're
mean,
probably.
to
just
be-
about done anyway, aren't we?
I'm going to say, yeah, you'd lost me at Madison. Mate, to be fair, anybody would think you were a Villa fan the way you named them off there. It is. It is strange though, isn't it? Because, like you say, we do say about depth of squad, and people laughed when I looked at that, because obviously you say bringing somebody in drops everybody down, and it creates that natural depth within squad. But we need to start seeing that this year. We need to improve on that depth of squad, because for a long time of last season, especially, it was the same 11 going out week after week after week through December, and that's when it started to real catch up with us. And I think that's changed now, and it's changed for the better. And like I say, yes, we keep harping on about this right wing. Yes, we keep harping on about the right centre back. But like I said, until it happens, we can only go with what we've got in the team as we are.
Yeah.
And that is it. There's no point people getting upset over it. There's no point people falling out over it. It's not going to change. It's not going to change anything. So we've just got to make sure that the banter that we have between each other and the rival fans that come on the show, we love to see everybody's opinion. It's not about us saying that you're not going to do it. It's just I've gone with the majority of the fans that are on here, and that is it. It's nothing nasty meant.
So what you're saying is, Gary, you're sitting on the fence.
No. I mean,
I'm joking. Yeah, I'm joking.
No. Like I said, for me, because where we finished fourth and seventh, respectfully, it just proves, and we haven't done much to the squad. We haven't changed the squad around at all. So there's nothing really stopping us from going on and getting the same again, and that's all I look at. And like I said, there's people in the side there that will always say, "Well, my side's better than your side," and everything else. And I just go on what we've already achieved. Now, yes, there's going to be teams out there, the likes of West Ham, that have brought in lots of players, but it's whether they play together. It doesn't mean that because you've got lots of names on your team sheet that you're going to get the best out of them. So
Time will
Lopetegui,
tell.
yeah, Lopetegui's got a job to do. Yeah, yes, he's got a decent depth in squad now, but he's still got to get the right 11 out every week and getting them gelling, and that takes some effort. I mean, we saw that with Eddie Howe. It took him up until Christmas before we started to see the fruit through the trees, and obviously the first transfer window. But let's see. I've took a photo of it, and we'll address it. I'm sure there's going to be some shocks, so there always is. It wouldn't surprise me if one of the bottom three ends up in 10th on the first season. I'm hoping it's Ipswich. But like I said, at the end of the day, this isn't meant as a knock to any other team in the league. I wish them all the best, as long as they're behind us.
Oh, I haven't.
I'm just
All
saying.
them but Man United, anyways.
Well, that's just because you've got a Man United other half.
Right, and I think you stole my youth as well. So.
Well, there you go. You see, you can't always win all those arguments. Gentlemen, is there anything else that you want to add before the show ends? Because I think
I'm ready for me bed.
Yeah, I know you are.
No.
I'm just wondering, is Wynne still as calm as he was 2 weeks ago when we were talking about transfers, and he was going, "Just be calm, just be calm."
I am
he's
horizontal.
Got no worries. Yeah, he's got no worries. And like I said, tonight's just been a bit of a laugh, because obviously there's been very little action on the NUFC front, apart from obviously the Cellar weekend, where we lifted the cup, both female and male. But from our point of view, it's not just about coming on the show and talking about stuff that we've already talked about. I know the Geordie show was what's happening in the week, but we've already gone over it. I don't know how many times, so we're not going to do it again. So we thought of something different. Well, my mate did. He came up with this one, and I thought it was good because we've got some nice responses out there. And like I say, it just proves it doesn't matter how many people are watching. Everybody's got their own opinion. So,
did anyone else see Ellis Sorensen getting a goal against Leeds? Remember Sorensen that used to be in my youth team? We don't remember him.
I remember the name. I didn't see the Leeds game though.
Yeah, he hits it straight at the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper parries it in. But he scored on his debut
on the near post.
Yes, he scores on his debut. Be
Yeah,
interesting
yeah,
to see how he does in the Championship, because there was a time back in the day when he was on with Brooks, we were saying should we loan him to the Championship and see how he does. He's managed to get a permanent move there from going away and playing football in a lower league.
Where was he before? Was it Copenhagen?
And I got Brunton or something. It was some Norwegian or Swedish team, I think.
Got you.
Don't quote us on that. He was definitely some Scandinavian side, I think.
Yeah.
I'll have a look.
Tiger. If we add this window with no one, there you go. No one but Mike is in jail for the rest of the season. I'll be happy with that. He's done
Thank you,
nothing wrong
Tiger.
tonight. He's done nothing wrong tonight. What else? I've just
We're
seen
saying
something
them
else.
for. We're saying Elias Sorensen from HB Cork in Denmark.
Denmark.
Oh, there you go. Denmark. There you go. It's nice to have Mason on board because he's like the Roman reporter. I didn't really. Is Sterling only 29? I
Yeah.
thought he was in his 30s. Like he
Oh,
seems as if
no.
he's been around forever.
Well, he has, but he started young.
Started off at 17, didn't he?
Nah, he was like a
Crikey.
Saha, wasn't he?
I honestly did think he was in his 30s. What else did I see on here before we go? Anything of note? Bear with me, guys. Apologies. I usually try and put stuff in the tick box area. About times I've said that we finish above Villa this season. If we don't finish above season, there's something wrong with us. I think we've just had that one.
Agreed.
What else is there? I've just seen something. Ah, there you go. It's about time. Also, another controversial opinion, but I see West Ham really, really struggling this year. I'm talking a 15th finish at best, and that's Lopper getting sacked by Christmas.
Well, I think if they're
Like
down
I
there, he
said.
will be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Possible.
I see them.
With all
I
them
think they'll
players
have a
in.
good season.
Yeah, like I said, it's how he gels them, and it's exactly the same with the Liverpool and are Man City on the decline? Because that's another thing, you know. If Pep decides that this is his final season, is that the reasons why they're not getting anybody in? But I mean, I must admit, you know, from what I've seen, like the likes of Oscar Bob this season on that right hand side,
Yeah.
man, I would love that lad at the two.
On that subject, his heat map will have changed now, Win. It'll not be on the left side, his heat map. It's been played on the right, his heat map will be different now.
As long as we got somebody
Foxy
on the right.
saying Wolves in 17th is pretty outrageous. Justice for Gary. Yeah, well, I went with the majority, Fox. I went with the majority, mate.
I'm a big fan of Gary O'Neill. I just think his tools that he's got available, you know, he's had his first tools nicked and he's had to buy some second-hand ones, I think.
Yeah. And he's Van broken into.
Yep.
Who's that?
Gary O'Neill.
At Wolves. I think he's a good coach.
Yeah.
Well, I thought he did. I thought it was a shame that Bournemouth got rid of him. Really, you know, the way they did. I thought that was really dirty. When he went to Wolves, I thought that was a massive risk on Wolves' behalf. But he's done really. He did really well with a team that really didn't look like they gelled quite right. There was certain weaknesses in certain areas, but he got them playing really well. I mean, don't forget when they come to us, we went on the low block, quite defensive in it, them on attacks, and they just couldn't cope with the pace, could they? But for ball progression, they outplayed us on the day. Absolutely. So it's whether he can compete that, you know, continue with that style. Once you start losing a lot of your star players, it'll be difficult for them to hold on. Warren says, as I said at the beginning of the program, Newcastle and Liverpool are very similar in both sets and setups and style. Toss up between us and them for third and fourth. First and second are bonkers. Arsenal and Man City. Sorry, bankers, not bonkers. And then
Mighty Mark saying Gary Derrick is in a breakfast show tomorrow. Only if we get off here pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
but yes, is the answer you're looking for.
Yeah, we are doing the 12 o'clock show.
It's typical.
We'll be looking.
It's typical, lads. I was talking to Ben on Saturday night.
Yeah, we all said it's difficult when you're doing the night shift like you do with the caring for your nipper.
I was sick.
It is. Yeah, I'm sure. Anyway, guys,
I've been looking forward to getting on the morning show, and every single time I feel as if I'm gonna get on, someone decides to do an all
one of
nighter.
these days. Yeah, one of these days it's going to get there.
I'll get a party pop after when I actually eventually make an appearance.
Yeah, mate, I thought you were going to get the champers out. Never mind a party popper. Wyn, Andy, and Mason, thank you so much for joining us tonight on the Geordie Show. And like I say, thanks to everybody we contributed to our Premiership top 20, if you like. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. It was an interesting one. Thanks, Wyn, for setting that up. That was a good one. I didn't think of that, but yeah, it went down well. And again, thanks to everybody that's watched. It obviously depends on you. Please smash the likes, subscribe, ding that bell for future content. Me and Wyn here tomorrow at 12 midday. For anybody that wants to come along, we'll be looking for any.
And hopefully, we'll have some news.
Yeah, any news comes up, because that's what I'm going to do now for the next hour or two. My mate Wyson? Crikey, where did Wyson come from? My mate Mason and Connor and Andy all do lots and lots and lots of bits and pieces, throw everything into our chat. We'd feed off them, and it's all good to go. And again, thanks to everybody in the background, all the mods, everybody that's contributed in tonight's show. With all your positions of the teams and everything else. Apologies if we've upset anybody. It's not meant. It's just a bit of fun, guys. But again, thanks to everybody. See you tomorrow.
Well, lads.
How are the lads?
And lasses!
And lasses, yes, how are the lasses as well.